also, with people not having health care,
Right.
they can still get health care. They just don't know how to go about it. For example, if people go to UPMC and hospital in the hospitalization, they can also, when they get the bill, apply for the community fund, which a lot of people are not aware of. And there's forms you got to fill out. And also, if people need medications, they can also ask the doctors to fill out a form and send it to the pharmaceutical companies, and they would be able to get the medications that they need. And they either have to pick it up at the doctor's office or have it sent to their house, depending on the situation. Also, they can also have the doctors get these medications, and they're and they just give them to people that need it, don't have health care.
Okay. Well, let's have Annette answer the same question. I'll repeat it just in case. And then that was good answers. Now, if you can do some research, or myself, as to getting the numbers so that people can contact people with regard to, maybe getting some help. But again, Annette, if we had to cut a $50 million program, but corporate tax cuts, in other words, they don't have to pay $200 million, which would have obviously had the $50 million plus an additional $150 million. So if the state is so broke, why do you believe they refused the $200 million and gave the tax cuts? What's your thoughts on that?
I'm not sure.
What do you think's behind all that?
I don't know what's behind it.
How do you feel about the fact that they have put people
Well,
potentially into debt further?
I don't think it makes any sense.
Okay. So then would all of you concur with me on the fact that anyone and everyone who lost adult basic, would you agree or disagree that they should be calling the governor's office tomorrow?
Yes.
Not only should they call the governor's office, but
And
also,
the Blue Cross Blue Shield and
also,
all the state legislators.
Yeah, call them. Let them know.
Okay, well, with regard to that, when you call a governor, be very polite, explain your story to his or her staff and the state legislator, and also you may want to call Blue Cross Blue Shield. Now, I don't have the number for your individual state legislators. Chris may have one or two. I'm going to ask him. But I do know this, that if you dial 1-717-787-2500 and you call Governor Tom Corbett, you might want to call him every single day. Get your friends to call him. Get your brothers and sisters, everybody to call him. And if we get enough calls to the governor's office, and if we get enough calls, maybe some legal protests, peaceful and legal, to the state legislator's office and to Blue Cross Blue Shield, and we call, well, it seems to me we may just get that adult basic refunded, or instead of the special care that Blue Cross Blue Shield has at $168 and a limit per month, $168 per month with a limitation of only 4 hospital visits. Well, instead of that, maybe we can legally and peacefully compel Blue Cross Blue Shield to lower the per month cost and to increase the number of doctor's visits. Now, I know everybody there at home, you might all be saying, it's done, Al. It's not going to be reversed. You know what? There are so many things that I thought the same thing until I started signing online petitions and sending real emails to federal officials such as Senator Casey, Senator Specter when he was the senator, the new Senator Pat Toomey, or Congressman Mike Doyle. And many times I'll sign petitions online, which literally takes about maybe 6 seconds, really. if when you actually have the stuff ready. It takes about 6 seconds or less. But, you know, when we participate and we become an activist, I'm going to tell you something, my friends. Changes are made. You see, D.C. and Harrisburg or wherever state you're at, they have to listen to you. If they don't listen to you, they're gone. They're voted out. So I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and have Nora get this call. Then we're going to go into a tape roll. Then we're going to come back, and we're going to switch from old school Albert to new school Albert. And new school Albert is all about, well, they're tearing us to pieces. How do we keep ourselves in one piece and, in fact, end up in a better position than we are today? So old school Albert's going to be going, bye-bye. New school Albert's coming to you. But first, I believe Nora has a job to do.
Yes, caller. Can you give me your name?
Hello?
Hello, how are
Hi.
you? Is this
I'm fine. How are
Donna?
you? Yeah, it is.
Oh, hi, Donna.
Donna's in the
Welcome.
house.
How are you? Oh,
So you have anything special for Elle or your brother or Annette or myself?
yes. I want to tell you all to be careful. Even though it's not raining or snowing, you can still be careful going home.
Happy birthday, Donna.
Happy
birthday
birthday.
to you.
I want you all to do me a favor right now.
Uh-oh.
What's that?
You all have to clap your hands and tell Yori thank you for all the work he does for that station.
I don't have to clap my hands. I got, yay! You see me acting like a
Yes.
dummy. I'm acting like a big dummy. Oh, well.
No.
No, but Yuri does a fantastic
Yes,
job.
he does.
I'll give him 100 stars.
Well, that's why I said that's why I had to do it. And you know what? He didn't even know I was going to do that.
Well, now he knows.
Now he knows. Okay, now, birthdays. There's a lot of birthdays this month.
Hurry up, birthdays.
Celine, Kathy, Jared. I'm looking at the calendar, so I'm doing in order.
Oh, Mamma Mia.
Kathy, Tony, me, Cherokee, Leo, Cornerly. I said Tony. Oh, yeah, and Tony. Okay, there's all the birthdays for the month. There
All
ain't as
right.
many as I thought.
Now, what about the hellos here? And
Hello,
no
Scott,
Michael, and no
Matt,
Steve.
Mike.
No,
Steve.
Mike and Steve, no.
What?
You're not allowed
Well, you
to say-
forgot to say happy birthday to Ben.
Well, say happy birthday. Oh, no, not him again.
Happy birthday, Ben.
No happy birthday to Ben.
What?
No Ben happy birthdays.
You know, this is going to be all over the internet.
I know.
And if he sees that,
Yeah.
guess who's going to be calling somebody a loudmouth?
Ben's probably going to call me one, and then I'm going to have to give him the old Sicilian word. Don't mess with me, Ben.
He will.
You don't want to go there. Anyway, keep it up.
And
Keep
we
it up
gotta say
here.
happy birthday to
We
Mike.
got another caller here.
Okay, well, there's the hellos, happy birthdays, and happy St. Patrick's Day, and happy belated Valentine's Day,
Okay.
and happy birthday to Vince Shutter.
Oh, boy. There she goes with that one again. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Oh, hamburgers and french fries for dinner tonight.
It's Friday, please.
Tomorrow's dinner is breaded chicken and stuffing.
No, tonight's
corn.
dinner is breaded chicken and stuffing.
Taking her, just call Elle's cell phone.
No, tonight is chicken and stuffing. You can have some hamburgers on your own.
No,
You are.
No, I ain't.
America said you are.
Oh.
Never say that word on my show.
Everybody does it.
Don't say that. I gotta go.
All right, be
I gotta
careful.
cut.
Talk to you guys later.
I'm gonna have to edit that out.
I love you all. Be careful.
Okay.
Bye.
Don't ever
Love
say
you
that
too.
S word. We don't say that S word. Oy, oy, oy. Well, let's get caller number 2, and then I'm going to go into the tape room right after caller number 2. So caller number 2, say how do you do?
Hi, Al. This is your sister.
All right, we'll speak to Chris.
When do you? I mean, is auto insurance messed up like the ones you've been talking about?
No.
Hey, you got my tie on. And hello to all the people in that Chinese restaurant. I know you forgot doing it.
Hello to all the
Hey,
people at the Chinese
that
restaurant.
Chinese guy. And hello, Chris
Jason
and
and
Nora. You look nice, Nora, with that shirt.
You're not supposed to say that lady's name.
You know what? James Russell died. I hope you know that. but
I know that. I had it in the credits.
Oh, okay. We
Oy,
all
oy,
love
oy.
you.
All right, good night, Diane.
Hi,
Good.
Nora.
All right, Diane, we got to
love
wrap.
you.
Come on. Good night, Diane. Oh,
You
yo,
can
yo.
call sometime, Nora.
Thank you.
She said to call her up.
I certainly will.
You better call her up tonight or she's going to be calling me saying, why didn't Nora call me?
I'll call you tonight.
All right. This is the portion of the show when we get some calls where we interact and we have fun. And Mr. Tough Guy L can be tough and he can be very nice. He can be funny. He can be mean. You know, not mean, but you know what I mean. At any rate, everybody, how about we do this? Let's, before we go to that tape roll, let me just say one thing. Working here at the station can be very stressful. I want to point out that we have a staff that includes John, Gladys, Darlene, we have Vitrina, and of course, the man of the hour, Yori. And of course, we probably have some other people that I didn't name because there may be some interns. They all do a very, very good job. And I just want to say that I appreciate what they do. And Yori really works, you know, it takes a lot. And they all do. Gladys, oh boy, she's up at nights taking care of the business. So I just want to say thank you to all the hard work that they do. There's a lot that goes into what we do behind the scenes and programming, what have you, and some new things that we're working on doing. So I just want to give it up to the PCTV staff, and hopefully we're pleasing the audiences. So we're going to go into a tape roll and get ready to hold your ears. Tape roll, please. We'll rally round the flag, boys, we'll rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom. The Union forever, hurrah, boys, hurrah. Down with the traitors and up with the stars, while we rally round the flag, boys, rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom. We will rally from the hillside, we'll gather from the plains, shouting the battle cry of freedom. The Union forever, hurrah, boys, hurrah. Down with the traitors, up with the stars, while we rally round the flag, boys, rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom. We are springing to the call of our brothers gone before, shouting the battle cry of freedom. And we'll fill our vacant ranks with 1,000,000 free men more, shouting the battle cry of freedom. The Union forever, hurrah, boys, hurrah. Down with the traitors, up with the stars, while we rally round the flag, boys, rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom. We will welcome to our numbers the loyal, true, and brave, shouting the battle cry of freedom. And although they may be poor, not a man shall be a slave, shouting the battle cry of freedom. So we're springing to the call from the east and from the west, shouting the battle cry of freedom. And we'll hurl that rebel crew from the land that we love best, shouting the battle cry of freedom. The Union forever, hurrah, boys, hurrah. Down with the traitors, up with the stars, while we rally round the flag, boys, rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom. Before we get to the brand new L, instead of old school L, there's a little bit of old school business to still do, and that will be mentioned by the one and only Chris Weis. So Chris, you now have the floor.
When we were talking about the the adult basic, there is something that people can do. The biggest population that doesn't vote are the people with disabilities. So one of the things that you can do is register to vote and exercise your right to vote and change the powers that we have. You know, so this is another option.
Okay, I concur with that, Chris. Now, I want to be very, how do I put this? I'm displeased with the political scene, both statewide and nationally. But the reality is, as I said on a previous show, our government has never truly done right by us, and they've denied many people their rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And now more than ever, the rights of the middle class, the working poor, and the extremely impoverished are frankly under attack. In fact, if there is not a budget passed by Friday, everyone who has Social Security and others will not get their checks, most likely, until late April, if they get them in April at all. This is going to cause a financial crisis beyond belief. How are people that depend on this going to pay any of their bills? So that is part of the old school style L. But instead of focusing in on that, we need to start working to start this battle, this war on poverty, and this war on union rights being attacked, like what's going on in Wisconsin. The governor is trying to get rid of collective bargaining. And this is really regressing our nation. It could even be worse than it was in the Depression if we are not careful. But we have to face the reality. There's nothing that we can do in terms of voting out people, at least until next year. Well, actually in November we can work on some, but mainly 2012. We as a people need to quit listening to the political ads of either party and look at what they have done while they are in office. Well, if we have a governor that ends a program that helps 40,000 people, when that governor is up for re-election in about 3.5 years, you might want to consider that. We have the House of Representatives in D.C. that wants to take and give money to the wealthier. You might want to consider that. Or they want to make laws easier for corporations and ultimately hurting you. You might want to consider that and start voting in your own interest. But we cannot wait. The fact is, I can tell you all these bad things that the government's done, how terrible this is that they cut this, that, and the other, and the fact that people may not get their checks next month. Yeah, and that is very scary stuff. But here's what we got to do. What I said last month. And the reason why I played the battle cry of freedom again. This is a battle cry. Make no mistake, we are at war. We got to do it legally and peacefully. And that's very important. Legally and peacefully. But we have got to free our mind. And what we have to do is come up with a way to increase our funding for each and every person that's in poverty. We can do that by saving a penny a day, $1 a day, which I told you I'm writing a book on. But we can also do that through education and through participation. But here's the bottom line. I want all of you to close your eyes for a minute. I'll close mine. Now open them. How many of you out there have a great idea for a business, or maybe an invention, or maybe a service? How many of you, the only thing that's stopping you from doing this is money? Probably at least a couple million somewhere throughout the country, right? But what I want you to do is I want you to start going to the libraries, going online, reading, and learning what needs to be done so that you can start working on trying to get these grants to start your business. Because we have got to become self-sufficient, self-reliant. The simple fact is, millions of people throughout this country right now face not having the money they depend on coming in next month. So the only real solution, since our government and society is becoming harder and frankly, I'm sorry, but evil in some ways, in some respects, since that's the case, then it is incumbent upon us to change ourselves so that instead of making $700 a month on Social Security, we find a way to start a business or become employed so that we make $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month. And we also demand that Congress does not repeal the Affordable Health Care Act, because if you have a pre-existing condition under this law, you still will have an ability to get covered with insurance. If that is repealed, and let's say you decide you're disabled, a needs-based disabled American, okay? Hypothesize, you're a needs-based disabled American. One of the reasons why you've stayed on Social Security or welfare, what have you, is because you cannot get health care coverage other than from the state. You cannot get health care coverage at any price. Now that this law